Evolution Mythology, Cause and Effect. Chapter 1. The Cultural Decline in America. One of the many facets of the cultural decline in America is the increase of violence among our children. What possesses a child to pick up a gun and kill his or her classmates? This is a modern phenomenon that has no historical precedent. Can it be that we are reaping the harvest of teaching our children from the moment that they enter school until they graduate college that they came from nothing and will return to nothing for no sensible reason at all? Pure chance, right? We have essentially instilled in them the concept that there is no supreme being and no reason for moral restraint. In fact, we have shown them that the whole concept of right and wrong is nothing more than a human construct. And since it's nothing more but a human construct, then anything we want to do and can get away with is okay. We have taught them that there is no point to living, except self-gratification, of course, and nothing worth dying for because life is meaningless. So why does it matter what you do so long as you're happy and it feels good? Why should it matter if you kill your unborn baby? Since it's nothing more than a chance occurrence of matter, a blob of protoplasm with no meaning whatsoever, why should anyone care? Children are not blind to so-called adults telling them that murder is wrong, and then blithely going off to get an abortion because they don't want the responsibility and inconvenience of raising a child. This kind of irresponsible behavior on the part of so-called adults leads to children who have no parentally instilled reverence for the sanctity of life. Life has been downgraded to a cheap commodity, an inconvenience, to be discarded as a nuisance. Make no mistake about it, the term pro-choice is a code word for the phrase, whatever is most convenient for me. The cheaper life becomes, in the minds of our children, the easier it is to destroy that life, whether with a gun or by abortion. Abortion is a reasonable alternative to responsible parenthood if you are willfully ignorant of the existence of the Creator and mindlessly embrace the lie that there is nothing behind the reality of existence except blind chance. If you listen to the liberal left and thousands of other hysterical morons, guns are the major cause of violence among children in America today. They cling to this emotional misconception even though guns have been readily available to children throughout the history of the United States with little adverse effect until comparatively recent times. Now, what have guns done in these later years to cause children to pick them up and turn them on each other? Well, the obvious answer is that guns are inanimate objects, totally incapable of taking any action whatsoever. However, what has changed is how people and their attitudes, which were inculcated during their childhood, perceive such issues as life and death, including their perceptions of guns. This attitude towards guns and killing has been greatly influenced by one of the most ardent supporters of the liberal left and their rabid anti-gun policies, the Hollywood entertainment industry. Now, that is ironic because this is the same industry that makes billions of dollars from films that make popular heroes out of morons who crack jokes while killing people with the very guns that they supposedly abhor. Now, how hypocritical can you be? If you were genuinely concerned about the effect of guns on our young people, wouldn't you be careful to make movies that minimize the glamour of guns? These movies do anything but minimize the glamour. Instead, they popularize the gun-toting hero who combines comedy and wisecracking with shooting everybody and everything in sight. Movies like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, ad nausea. These movies have a profound influence on the attitudes of people who watch them, especially children. Given the deadly mixture of this cultural glamorization of the gun-toting killer with the indoctrination of mindless evolution and the careless disregard for life by a convenience at any cost society, it is not at all surprising that children are killing each other. What is surprising is that they're not doing it more often. Unfortunately, we haven't seen the end of it yet. For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. Hosea 8:7. Cultural influences that affect the attitudes of children about the sanctity of life are not limited to movies, however. Music, especially rap, hip-hop, and heavy metal, preach that illicit sex, drugs, suicide, and violence against established authority is not only desirable, but hip and cool as well. Overt physical violence has been mostly removed from television cartoons, but magical violence has been substituted, which is maybe more subtle, but possibly even more damaging to impressionable young minds. Our children are not blind, deaf, or stupid. We are teaching them that it is glamorous and fun to shoot people, and there are no real consequences for doing so. Popular arcade, computer, and video games further anesthetize our children by training them to kill Nazis, mutants, aliens, and other undesirables. These things are showing them that the solution to their problems is to pick up a gun and kill whatever is bothering them. If they should get killed, or the game, life, goes in a direction that they don't like, they can always hit the reset button and start over, right? Our culture has come to worship instant gratification and gives the illusion of push-button immortality. Of course, it is not only an easily identifiable list of movies, music, and games that are responsible for the rising wave of violence among our young people, but a whole range of cultural and social issues that they are being exposed to every waking hour. But so far, we've just discussed the effects or symptoms of the disease that is infecting our society. In the next chapter, we will take a look at the underlying cause.